Assign a static IP to Click PLUS PLC easily. You know the drill. Another project, another piece of hardware. This time it was a Click PLUS PLC. We had previously assembled the hardware using the Automation Direct website to ensure that all of the components were accounted for. Before it could orchestrate a single solenoid or read an encoder pulse, it needed an identity on the network. Without a proper IP address, it was just a rather expensive paperweight, so I prepped my battle station. The laptop was open, the familiar Click PLC software was already loaded, and a hot mug of coffee was at hand. Let's get this done. Detailed information contained in this video can be found at accautomation.ca. A link has been put in the description below. If you haven't watched the other videos yet, links in the description below will direct you to video 1. There will also be links to the remaining videos in this series. The IP Configuration Protocol, a practical guide. Step 1. Initial link up. First order of business, a direct shot. I ran a standard Ethernet cable straight from my router to the Click PLUS PLC. Port 1 of the Click PLC defaults to DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, automates the assignment of IP addresses and other network configuration parameters to devices on the network. It's the simplest way to establish that initial communication, especially with a factory default device. Step 2. Discovery and access. Fired up the Click PLUS Programming Software. The startup window automatically displays. The software feels intuitive. It knows that when I start this software, we will do one of 3 things. Start a new project, open an existing project, or connect to the PLC. Select Connect to PLC. The Connect to Click PLC window will be displayed. This displays the PLC name that we assigned previously. The software automatically initiated a network scan. Within seconds, the PLC's default IP address, typically in the 192.168.1x range, such as 192.168.1.26, populated the list. Confirmation of physical connectivity achieved. We also see the firmware and physical MAC address of the controller. IP addresses come in different classes. The standard default class is C. The subnet mask is an essential setting on the network. All devices must have the same mask setting to communicate. Let's make sure we write this down to ensure that the class and subnet mask for our static fixed IP address will work. Select Connect to establish communication with our Click PLUS PLC. Select Read the project from the PLC from the Connect dialog window. Select OK. We can see that we are connected to the PLC along the bottom status bar of the Click PLC Programming Software. We are currently in run mode, and our previously created quick sample program is running. Step 3. Assigning a static IP, the network identity. Now for the main part, establishing a static IP address. Relying on DHCP in an industrial control environment is asking for trouble down the line. Network administrators can sometimes use reserved IP addresses based on the MAC address of the device. I like to set this to a static IP address anyway. On the default Home tab, select COM port setup under the CPU icon. This communication port setup window gives me the entire list of communication options. Select port 1 setup. This is the Ethernet port with which we are currently communicating, as indicated on the bottom status line of the Click PLC Programming Software. The COM port setup details window is now displayed. Wow, this is very easy. Under the port, I can select any of the communication ports to set up. Let's enter the network parameters for port 1 IP address. I punched in 192.168.1.1.130. This was chosen to fit neatly within the existing plant network's designated subnet for automation devices, avoiding any potential conflicts. Subnet mask standard 255.255.255.0. This defines the local network segment. Gateway IP address 192.168.1.1. This is the network's router or layer 3 switch, allowing the PLC to communicate beyond its immediate subnet if necessary, e.g. to an HMI on a different segment or a SCADA server. DNS server address 8.8.8.8. This domain name server address will translate names into IP addresses. An example is accautomation.ca. Alternative DNS server address, 8.8.4.4. This can improve browsing speed and enhance security. I double-check the entries. Looks solid. Select OK. Step 4. Committing the configuration. With the network parameters confirmed, I clicked Write Project on the Home tab. The software initiated the transfer, writing the new IP configuration directly to the PLC's non-volatile memory. The software automatically recognizes that we need to save the program under the same name we used last time. Select Save. The Select Network Settings window will now be displayed as we have changed the settings. We can verify these settings again and then select Use Project File Settings. The Write Project into PLC window will be displayed. Select OK. We are executing a runtime edit. This means that the PLC continues to run the program while the new program is being loaded. It then starts executing the new loaded program. This is done without pausing the PLC scan. Select Proceed Runtime Edit. A transfer completed will appear in the output window. Good. If you are enjoying this video, please hit the like button below. Keeping up with all the latest automation innovations can be difficult, so hit the subscribe button. Remember to hit the bell beside your subscription to receive the notifications. Since changing the network settings that we were already using for communication, the software will error and return an offline status. A warning message will be displayed indicating that the programming session to the PLC was disconnected. We can choose to work offline or select Reconnect. Select Reconnect. Step 5. Verifying connectivity. Our Connect to Click PLC window will be displayed again. Wow, this programming software is very intuitive. We can see our new set IP address. Select Connect. In the Click software, I return to Setup COM port setup. This time, instead of port 1, I selected the WLAN setup. The wireless local area network port parameters are displayed in the COM port setup details window. Select the Enable Wireless LAN option. This allows us to enter the static IP address of 192.168.1.230 now. I quickly enter the SSID name of a Wi-Fi network that will enable devices to connect to it, along with the password. Once again, we save and then transfer the program to the Click PLUS PLC. Our WLAN light on the Click PLUS CPU comes to life. We are currently connected through port 1. I select the disconnect option on the Home tab. Selecting Yes when asked if I want to disconnect from the PLC now shows our bottom line status as offline. Selecting Connect again will bring up the Connect to Click PLC. This time we can now see our two options for connection. Select our Wi-Fi option and then select Connect. Our bottom status line will show our new connection. Success! The PLC was now officially an integrated component of the network, ready for programming and operational deployment. This foundational step, while seemingly simple, is absolutely critical. Get the IP right and the rest of the integration flows smoothly. Get it wrong and you'll be troubleshooting network issues before you even write your first rung of logic. On to the next phase. Learn more about how to design, build, and program your own Click PLC system with confidence by clicking here. Click here to see how you can learn PLC programming using the Machine Simulator by Nurtec. This will provide machine scenes that you can program